So you want to get shots like this, but don't have a bunch of expensive gear like this? I'm gonna show you how. The dolly zoom has been around since 1958 when Alfred Hitchcock used it in the iconic film Vertigo. Since then, filmmakers from Steven Spielberg to Martin Scorsese to Peter Jackson have been using this shot to evoke feelings of tension, horror, and confusion. Unfortunately for the many of us who aren't one of those three people, executing this shot without expensive equipment like a dolly, zoom lens, and not to mention a crew can be daunting, but it doesn't need to be. Here's how you can pull off a convincing dolly zoom with minimal gear and a one-person crew. All we're going to be using today is a camera and a gimbal. And if you don't have a gimbal, don't worry. There are other ways to stabilize your shots. You should be able to get a decent result using an office chair, skateboard, wheelchair, or even a car. You could also use a drone or a camera with a lot of in-body stabilization like a GoPro. You're going to want to use a space with a lot of depth, so don't shoot against the wall or in an area with a dark, ambiguous background. Since we're shooting in 4K, we can double the size of our image in post and still export at 1080p. This tells us that our subject should be no more than twice the size at the end of the shot as they are at the beginning. Don't worry, this will make a lot more sense later. So let's bring our footage into Premiere. By the way, this method will work in any editing software that allows you to scale footage, which is all of them. To make things a bit easier, we can make rulers visible and drag in guides to frame our subject's face. Now let's drop a keyframe for scale and drag the playhead to the end of the shot. Then we'll increase the scale until the subject's face fills the square that we created with our guides. And when you play it back, voila. If necessary, you can further refine the shot by adding warp stabilization and keyframing the position. But this should get you pretty close to a solid dolly zoom. Is it perfect? No, but since we didn't have to rent expensive gear and hire a crew, you now have more money to invest in more important aspects of your production. If you guys like this content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. This is Eddie with F.I.R.S.T Institute, and I'll catch you guys next time.